Good morning and welcome back to the One Celtic Fans View this morning. I am not letting my coffee go cold this morning. Hence it's a pre-recorded video. It is. It's currently 7:43 in the morning. I don't know where I've got the time up because that will really confuse you all. So I better take it down because some people will think that they've got their alarm all wrong. And anyway, good morning and welcome back to the channel with myself, Baz. There is a bit of speculation about a player that allegedly Celtic went for on deadline day. John Hartson suspects that Celtic could go back for the Sevilla striker who excelled under Rodgers at Leicester City. He ended up joining the English Championship side Middlesbrough on loan from Sevilla on deadline day switch, which left Celtic frustrated at their attempts to get the striker, with Mateus proving too expensive and leaving only Adam Ida and young Johnny Kenny. For me, I'm not really fussy about it. I mean, Johnny Kenny deserves his chance at Celtic. He's went away and he's done his thing, and if you listen to what Brendan Rodgers has said previously about younger players, they need to go through a football education. For me, Johnny Kenny's done that. He's done what Celtic asked. He's went out on loan for 2 seasons. He's physically improved as a player. He's grown in stature, not just his physicality, his football ability. He looks completely different from the young kid that came into Celtic a couple of years back. And for me, that's good enough to give him a chance until the end of the season to see exactly what he can do in the green and white for Celtic. And think about it, having 2 Irishmen up front for Celtic is the dream of dreams for some people. Anyway, Adam Ida is the main striker, and it's going to be fantastic. However, John Hartson says he would be surprised if Brendan Rodgers didn't again go for his ex-player ahead of the 25-26 campaign. He liked the Nigerian when he was at Leicester, and is that a good thing? Is it a good thing? I mean, I understand that why it was a last stopgap sort of situation for Brendan to try and get him on loan, but bringing him in full-time in the summer, going back for previous players, is that really a good thing from a perspective of moving forward, of ever evolving as a team, of getting new players in to sell them on, and the Celtic ethos, and maybe Brendan's just trying to make sure that his final year of the contract is a success at Celtic and he leaves the club in good condition. We never know, and we will know in about a couple of months' time whether or not Brendan signs that new contract. If he's given a new contract, it could be the case that Celtic go looking elsewhere. You never know, do you? The key issue is what Brendan Rodgers did with Kasper Schmeichel, said Hartson on Go Radio. I think it would be worth, when you worked with a player previously and you know his character, his strengths, and also his weaknesses. It's certainly, he went on to say that he think he was good at Leicester, and it could be the fact that he could sign up with Brendan again. A good, powerful player that scores goals. We've had players like that before, and they tend not to stick around too long at the club. That's my only thinking with it. I mean, it's one for the future. Anyway, it is all about Raith Rovers this weekend. Now, stick around to the end of the video because I'm going to mention a player that sadly took ill on the pitch, and this is happening too many times across world football, not just European football. I am seeing headlines like this quite more often, players collapsing on pitch. And it seems to be a phenomenon that's taken. It seems to be going under the radar media-wise, but it's happening more than not. Anyway, it is all about Raith Rovers this weekend, and a Celtic fan that plays for the Rovers, and the manager of Raith Rovers used to play for Celtic. Yes, Barry Robson's side come to Celtic Park on the weekend for the Scottish Cup, the last 16 of the Scottish Cup, and Celtic fan Dylan Easton admits that Raith Rovers is a cup dream come true for him, and the Raith Rovers favourite doesn't want it to turn into a living nightmare. When he's seen the way that Celtic demolished, dismantled, dismembered and discarded of Dundee and the other night at Celtic Park, it was absolutely fantastic football, and he is dreading the fact that Celtic do the same. He says, look, there's been better teams that have went to Celtic Park and been absolutely taken apart, but Barry Robson's side are going to enjoy the occasion, and as you should do, the romance of the Cup. The Scottish Cup is absolutely a fabulous competition, and I love it when players and teams, and I think the draw's been unkind to the smaller teams. I think the draw has been unkind to the smaller teams this year in the Scottish Cup, because there's very little chance of many of the smaller teams en masse getting to the later rounds of the Cup. And I think that's when the Cup comes alive, when you get to the last 8 in the quarterfinals, and if there's a small team from the likes of Kirkcaldy who gets there, and then they end up wanting 20,000 tickets when they can't even fill their stadiums on a weekly basis. But it's a fantastic occasion for the towns, and it's fantastic for the clubs involved. Barry Robson's main man went on to say, we'll go there and we'll make a good day of it, the fans and everything. It says, and players will try to enjoy it. We know how tough it's going to be. We know it's going to be an occasion. It's going to be something to look forward to. For me, growing up a Celtic fan, it's an exciting time. When I was watching the draw, it was my dream draw. I could not have placed it better. Getting to play on the turf at Celtic Park. We would have preferred if it was a home tie, but it would have been great having it at our own stadium. Bringing Celtic to Kirkcaldy once again is always a fantastic occasion. But hopefully we'll get a good bit of money in our pockets from the tie, and it'll help the club on, and it'll help Barry Robson. Yes, Barry Robson is the manager at Starks Park, and I can't wait to see Barry Robson coming out. He was a fantastic player for Celtic, and obviously he went on to Aberdeen to do a lot more at Aberdeen and the coaching staff at Aberdeen. And I wish him well. As we wish all ex-Celtic players, and Barry Robson is a fantastic. He was a fantastic servant for Celtic back in the day. Cracking midfield player, and it's going to be interesting to see how he lines up against Celtic this weekend. Anyway, getting to the last bit of news. And you are going to say, why are you even talking about him? Well, he was an ex-Scotland player, Sheffield United midfielder, and I'm going to say he was a Rangers player, but John Fleck took ill half an hour before he was on the pitch warming up, and the 33-year-old collapsed on the pitch on Thursday night, and he was taken to hospital, which left his teammates completely distressed, it says. And this type of thing happens. The kickoff was delayed 10 minutes whilst he was obviously taken off the pitch and everything during the warm-up. Now, this thing's happening far too much in football worldwide, and I think that we all know the real reason that it's happening, but nobody, it's the elephant in the room. And you never want to see sports players, people that are at their job, collapsing on the pitch. It brings back memories of Phil O'Donnell from a Celtic perspective and a Motherwell perspective. And Phil O'Donnell was a player that was taken far too young, and it puts a little bit of, you can take the rivalry and the banter and everything, and you can put all that aside when a player does, and I know he's not in Scottish football or anything, but I think that the bigger picture is when we're giving the players dogs abuse, remember they are just human beings. And they're at their work, and they're working away, and you're going to say, but it's football, it's fucking man up, fucking Jesus Christ, man. They are at their place of work. And, sometimes we need to lay off them a bit. And I just hope that Greg Taylor doesn't get dogs abuse now that he's decided that his future is elsewhere and not at Celtic. Obviously, Greg Taylor's still in the picture from last night. The team down below, by the way, is the team that I reckon that Celtic will play this weekend. It maybe not, because Brendan Rodgers may say, Baz, come on, tape. Man, we're no playing that team. I want to win the treble. And be all dominant and prove my doubters wrong. And there's still that niggly bit of feeling now that I'm starting to think that, is Brendan Rodgers going to be here after the 3 years? He won't walk before the 3 years, but will he be here after the 3 years? That's a talk for another day and another video and another dimension. On that note, the sun has just broken. Yes, the sun has just broken, and it's time to go. I've got got personal things that I need to take care of this morning. I hope you enjoyed this little short video. I'm sorry that it's not live. We will be back with a live later on this afternoon after Brendan Rodgers has done his interview. It'll be interesting to see how many questions he's asked about Greg Taylor. On that note, as the sun sunshine in my eyes. Have a fantastic day, Celtic fans, wherever you are, all around the world.